Doing?
Pretty good.
Good.
Cool. Okay, so I guess I got to stall for a little while. How's anybody have any questions on things that we've gone over so far?
I had a question that came up in the homework. I had like a homework question that had a bunch of different parts to it that was about someone with a bowel obstruction. But it talked a lot about blood volume.
Okay.
And I was confused about whether when blood loses water or gains water, what does that do to the volume?
Sure. So if blood is gaining water, then it's increasing in volume, right? That's the basis of that answer. So if you're losing water, like through dehydration or something like that, then your blood volume drops. And so that's one of the bad things. Like if you had an intestinal parasite or something like that and had really bad diarrhea, you would be losing a lot of water and you would need to get rehydrated in order to make the blood volume higher again.
Okay, and then if solutes were released, would that decrease the blood volume?
If solutes were released from where?
From I think it was talking about the colon in this case.
So if solutes left your body,
yes.
Then, so if solutes are leaving your body, then your plasma is becoming more water-like, less solutes in the water, and then the plasma is going to rush into your blood cells. That makes sense?
Yeah.
I have a clarifying question about, I just want to see if I'm thinking about, like through this worksheet for osmosis and thinking about like what's in the cell and outside of the cell. Can I run this by you?
Sure.
1 sec, I just have to sneeze, sorry. Okay, I'm back. So the way that I'm thinking of this is, where's the salt is my brain process for thinking about the pressure and which way it's moving. And I'm thinking, like when I'm thinking about isotonic, hypertonic, hypo, that's all pertaining to what's outside of the cell, right? Like that's what we're answering for the solution that's surrounding it. Is that true? Okay.
Yes.
So I was doing that. And then as far as direction, I'm just thinking which one is saltier, and whichever one, I have to actually look at what I did here. Whichever one is, sorry, I thought this would be simpler. Whichever one is saltier is the direction that the flow goes.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And so, that has to do with, so it's like the water moving based on the pressure of where the salt is.
Right. So the water is always moving from an area of high concentration of water to low concentration of water. Yep. So that's one of the things I'm going to share my screen today, and we'll go over some of those beakers, that worksheet with the beakers on it, and hopefully I can be a little more clear on that today. But yes, so the water is always moving towards where there is more salt.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. So it was brought to my attention that there was another homework problem that that I went over with one of your classmates, and I don't understand how Pearson is correcting this, because the answer that this person gave and then the correction were identical, and it marked the person wrong. So I don't understand that. So I'm throwing that question out from the homework. It's just one question on the homework, and it's only some of you got it, right? Because the homework is randomly generating certain questions. So just so you know, if there's something like that that comes up, I mean, this person had a completely honest response of saying, well, I don't understand why that's the answer. I don't understand what's going on. and we met over Zoom, and I read the answer and I read the person's response, and they were identical. So I don't know why it was marking that person wrong. So if that's ever the case, let me know, right? Because as far as the tests go, I do check every single question and every single answer, but with the homeworks, I don't, right? The homeworks, I'm a little more loose with that because you have 3 attempts to get it, and it's, you know, it's not worth as much of your grade and things like that. So, but if there's ever a situation like that where there's a homework question, you don't understand why it's right or wrong, definitely email me. We can, you know, we can talk over the phone, or we can set up a chat over the internet, and, you know, try to figure out what's going on. I'm not opposed to throwing out questions at all or anything like that. Realize, like I said, for the test, I did go over every single question and answer that I put on the test, so that shouldn't happen, but that doesn't mean that it won't happen, right? There are times where mistakes get made and things like that happen. And so when I review the test after everybody completes the test and I review it, I'll look and see, and if I see, oh, you know, 19 out of 20 students got this question wrong, what's going on? And I'll look at the question, and if it's, you know, misleading, or if I can see where, based on something I said, you know, another choice seemed obvious, it'll be a question that gets thrown out, right? So just understand that I'm not the type of professor that's just like, oh well, you know, deal with it. We're gonna work together and figure all this stuff out. Okay. All right. Other questions? So yesterday,